Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today is Sunday, April 14, 2024, and I timestamp my videos to let people know that the information contained therein is dated, so they don't watch it out of time and act on it as if it's new and lose money. Now, without further ado, good afternoon to my subscribers on the X platform. I do these videos tailor-made for you. Every other person watching it, it's just a bonus. You guys are my base, my main audience. Now, today we're going to be talking about 7 business rules to help you rule money. 7 business rules to help you rule money. Now, it's so important because money doesn't respect people. Money respects principles. So the most important thing about money is to understand the principles of money. It's just like navigation. If you understand the cardinal points, if you understand how to use a compass, you will always get to your destination. Now, our destination with money is that we want to be wealthy. So the very first thing that we need to learn is that when you want to go for marriage, you go for premarital counseling. Some people call it pre-marriage counseling. In fact, right now, some churches, some mosques, some local governments even mandated that you cannot get married without premarital or pre-marriage counseling. And so here's the thing. If you want to invest, you need pre-investment counseling. Otherwise, you're just going to be investing based on your greed. And if you invest based on your greed, you're going to lose money. I guarantee it. And that's how the stock market works. People come in, greedy people come in, and then people who have wisdom are there to pick on them and use their heads, and that's how they make money. So you want pre-investment counseling. Now, how are you going to get it? You need to get a mentor, because a mentor is going to shorten the distance between you and success. So look for a mentor. Nowadays, you can even get a mentor to give you one-on-one attention on X, on the X platform. So my subscribers, they're my mentors. I give them one-on-one attention. But you don't have to subscribe to me. You can subscribe to other people. Or you can have a real-life mentor, somebody that you know who has succeeded in business, who has succeeded in investing. Because you don't want just anybody as your mentor. You see, the broker the person, the freer the advice, the freer the mentorship. So you want to look for somebody who has achieved something in the area that you want to achieve something in. Now, the second thing is this. You don't want to learn from your mistakes. We're talking about investing here. So it's not like, when you just fall down and then you've hurt your leg and then you cry. That's a mistake, right? Your mom will kiss it for you and then put plaster and say, oh, you see, you're going to recover from that. That wound is going to heal. You're talking about money. If you make mistakes with money, you're just going to wipe out. In fact, on the stock market, you can lose $100,000 in a second. So you don't want to learn from your own mistakes. You want to learn from the mistakes of others. And to do that, you got to read. You got to be a voracious reader. Read about spectacular failures. Read about recent failures. Read about people who thought that they knew what they were doing and then they still failed. So you want to learn from that, because you cannot afford on the stock market to learn from your own mistakes. It's very important. Now, the third thing that you want to do is you want to have a budget. Now, why is it important to have a budget? Because you're investing. So you got to have a budget. You see, here's how it works. You got your earned income, maybe a salary or maybe profit from your own personal business. Now, your investable income is going to be your earned income minus your expenses. That's going to be your investable income. I'm going to say one more time. Your investable income is going to be your earned income minus your expenses. So if your salary is maybe $5,000 and your expenses are $2,500, that means that your investable income is going to be $2,500. So don't worry about things like emergency fund. That is very old school. Emergency fund is very old school. Why? Because nowadays you can liquidate most or some of your assets within seconds, with apps. You don't even have to get up from a chair. You can actually liquidate it with apps. So if you have an emergency come up, like maybe a health emergency, or maybe an emergency at your child's school, or maybe there's something happening, maybe like your landlord increased rent, or you got to buy a house, you can liquidate your assets and then use that for the emergency. So that's what you got to do. You got to have a budget. Now, the next thing is this: don't borrow to invest on the stock market. Do not do that. Don't borrow to invest in the stock market. You see, the stock market is not like a business that you control, that you own. It's like your business. You control it. You control all the variables to a reasonable extent, because you cannot control your customer base. But you can control every other thing. The stock market, it's just out of your hands. You're investing in companies because you have confidence that these companies are doing business well, and then they are going to, improve in value. But it might not happen. It might be that, there's insider trading in the company. It might be that they have dishonesty issues that you don't know about, even the government doesn't know about. It might be that maybe something happened, like maybe there's a war going on, they just erupted somewhere, and then without being aware, or without being, there's no forewarning, the stocks just tank. So you do not know what's going to happen. So you don't want to borrow to invest on the stock market. You can borrow to invest in your own business. And even at that, you want to borrow to invest only in the business that's expanding. But then to borrow to invest in the stock market is too risky. It's like gambling. Now, you want to be on the lookout. Now, this is going to be the fifth one. Now, to be on the lookout for how you can save money. So you want to be on the lookout for how you can save money. Now, it's very important because there are a lot of ways people can save money. Like, I have made a lot of money on the stock market, and not just on the stock market, on crypto market, but believe it or not, everywhere that is less than 5 miles, I walk and I save on money. I gave out all my cards when I started the free Leah Shaibu campaign. But even at that, maybe I want to go grocery shopping and places less than 5 miles, I walk. I don't take an Uber. I just walk. Sometimes a lot of people, they think it's romantic to keep eating out at restaurant. No, it's not romantic. It's problematic. You cook your food at home. Or you launder your clothes at home. If maybe your hands are hurting, maybe you can buy a washing machine. But what you want to do is that the reason why you want to cut your expenses is that the more you cut your expenses, then the more investable income that you have. Don't forget our formula. Investable income is your earned income minus your expenses. So if you reduce your expenses, that means you're increasing your investable income. Now, the next rule is this: follow business news. You want to follow business news. Now, why is it important to follow business news? Because business news actually affects the bottom line. So maybe you just you're watching Bloomberg, or you're reading Financial Times, or CNN Money. Well, it doesn't matter the format. Just watch, and even the more the better. And then you just hear something like, okay, maybe Tesla just had there's a strike with Tesla in China. What that means is that the very next moment, Tesla stocks are going down, because that's bad news. Bad news means that the stocks will go down. Good news means that the stock will go up. So you got to understand that business and investing on the stock market is not that complicated. So once you understand that, that, okay, well, this is what it's going, this is where it's going to. Now, the final thing that you got to do, and this is very important, the final thing is this: do not invest based on your emotions. Never. You got to maybe you're excited, you just heard something on the news and you're very excited, or somebody called you and said, well, you got to invest in this company, and you're very excited. Listen, what you want to do, look for someone to slap you upside your head. Look for someone, or maybe go take a cold shower, or remember what your worst enemy did to you, so it can shock you out of that emotional state, and then you become logical again. Only invest when you're logical. So look at that now. I've given you 7 rules. Don't invest based on your emotions. Follow business news. Be on the lookout for how you can cut expenses. Have a budget. Don't learn from your own mistakes. Pre-investments, counseling. You see, these are rules that are followed, and they've helped me make money. And if you follow them, they're going to help you make money, because money is no respecter of people. My name is Rano Mokri, the Apostle of Prosperity. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you.
But Rano travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Rano is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large, fighting with the monsters. Poverty I can't stand.